What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
And Levon Maynard.
Hey, welcome to the show.
What is going on? So welcome to the show. Definitely tune in Monday. We talk about some gas pumps in the Isles of Wight in the UK being hacked, showing some adult materials and just implications of the future. Tuesday, we talked about the Hydra darknet website, pretty much a black market being shut down by German authorities. So that's definitely a good topic to listen to. Then Wednesday, we talk about burnout in cybersecurity and how the UK took a poll, and the numbers are a lot higher than you would expect or not, depending on which side of the fence you're on. Definitely tune in for that one. No Thursday episode, no Ask a SSP this week, but today we talk about everything else. So if you read, watch, or look at media in any sort, which is 100% of everybody, then this is definitely an episode for you as well. But with that, how's your guys' week been?
Yeah, for me, my week's been pretty good. It's been pretty chill. I've been doing some traveling a little bit for work, but as far as like entertainment, like consumption, I've been watching some shows that I'll tell you guys about. First of all, I watched on Showtime, watched Dexter's New Blood, which is the most recent season of Dexter, and kind of like follows up from, I guess they had a pretty bad ending, like the final season prior to this. I think it was going to officially be the last season for the series until I think got a lot of slack for how poorly it ended. So they did like a kind of continuation. I think it did much better ending to the series, kind of wrap some things up. But
so is this it? It's only going to be one season?
I don't want to reveal anything.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I was going to say
I haven't watched the original series. I've been told multiple times. I watched the first episode of the first season when it first came out, and I was like, "This is amazing."
Yeah.
How many years has it been? I never watched episode 2.
That's true. It has been out for a while. Maybe it's past the what do you call it? The spoiler duration. Right. But I guess the new season is more recent. But they could potentially put another season out there if they wanted to. But I'll leave it at that. Okay. But it did a much better job of kind of concluding the series. I mean, that's what I'm assuming it's concluded, but they could spin it off and do some other stuff with it. But I think they try to wrap it up, make it finalized. But that was good. I watched Yellow Jackets, which is another Showtime flick. Okay. I really enjoyed that one as well. Pretty much about these, like, I think they're in high school like soccer team that they were on some sort of trip, and then they're playing, like, crash into the mountains, and like only a certain amount of them survived, and then they were living on the mountains. But then the story kind of hops from that time to like the future where they're like grown up, and then they're like still kind of battling some of the demons that they came across during the experience in the woods. But it gets pretty dark, and it's actually there's some scenes in there pretty gory, but it's a pretty good series. It's something that's a little different than some other stuff I've seen out there. But I watched that one. I think it's maybe, I don't know if it's 8 or 10 episodes. I think it's 10 episodes. But I'm sure they're gonna have another season that one. It seems like, definitely had like a kind of cliffhanger at the end of the last episode there. So I enjoyed that. I watched some of that Moon Knight on Disney Plus. Actually, I've been enjoying it. I watched I think it's 2 episodes out right now, but I've been enjoying it so far. I think it's actually pretty cool. It kind of makes me think about like Venom, like this like inner mind kind of character that's like playing with them. And like, I don't know anything about Moon Knight before watching this series. So it's kind of like still trying to learn about the character and everything like that. But I came across some random like article that was talking about Moon Knight and saying that he had beaten like certain Marvel characters in the comics. Like I think one they said was Thor, and like it showed like a clip from the comic, and something to the effect that Thor's hammer was actually made out of some sort of moon rock, and so that Moon Knight actually has some sort of like power over it, or he knew like how to control it or something like that. So he like stole his like hammer. So I don't, I don't know anything about, I don't know anything more than that, but I was like, huh. I guess Moon Knight's maybe more of a badass than I realized, but I never really heard of him before the series came out. But I'm looking forward to seeing some more episodes. But I guess besides that, I've been playing some games. I played a little bit of Yakuza. I'm on Yakuza 6 right now, trying to get through that. I think I'm about halfway through the game. I think a chapter 6 or 7. And then playing some Halo. Still enjoying that, playing this the multiplayer, since I kind of played the first single player all the way through. Yeah. What else is there? And then I don't know if I mentioned this before, but the wife and I were playing Tunic.
Okay. Yeah.
We're kind of going back and forth, Tunic on Xbox. And man, we were loving that. That game was like kind of like a sleepy hit or whatever you call it. Like you don't expect it to be that great of a game, but it's actually it's pretty phenomenal, I think. And it's kind of like a Zelda type game. Obviously, it's like it takes a lot of elements from Zelda, but they really did their own thing with it, and they really made it like special, I think. And you can see a lot of reviews out there. People love it. But yeah, I think that's most of the content that I got to. I know there's a couple other things I did watch. We watched Bridgerton, the most recent season of that. We were watching these British Bake Off challenge or something like that, which has been pretty good.
Gotcha. You can't just skip over Bridgerton. Like, so
yeah.
I didn't watch.
Yeah, you watched Bridgerton?
I didn't know you were. I didn't want to like.
Season.
First season was very, very good. All right, I watched it by myself.
Yeah,
I can't use the excuse I had to watch it with my wife. Excuse. I enjoyed the first season, but I have no interest in the second because of the way the first ended. So I don't know. Is it worth it? Should I jump back in it?
They did a pretty good job on this one. I mean, it's got a lot of similar same elements, very similar to the first season. I think it's got like this one's focused a lot more on the Bridgerton brother, like the older one.
Okay.
That was like sleeping at a lot of the brothels and hanging out with all the women and stuff like that.
They call him a rake.
Yeah.
That's old school slang for male, promiscuous male, a rake. I was like,
rake.
Yo.
Yeah. It's like, that's ultimate disrespect back in the day.
Right.
Ultimate. You were rake, boy. But I like it. I think you'll enjoy it if you enjoyed the first season. And so, it's very similar. You got to love a lot of the love interest type stuff, and they're trying to figure out like, oh, I love you, but our family's not really supposed to be together, kind of thing, or like we're not meant to be, or like we should be together, but I love you, I'm gonna keep it secret, or like that kind of stuff. But it's pretty cool.
Shannon, like, y'all wow.
Yeah, Shannon, like, I don't like that. I'm out. I don't like that love stuff and the love dramas and. But I do a good job. It's not like a typical thing that I would normally watch, but I appreciate the series. I think it's pretty good. They do a good job on it. And that's why it's been like, I think it's like number 1 right now or something, or at least before it was. And then there's something else. There's a Netflix series called Is It Cake? And the wife and I watched that one. It's actually really fun. But it's excuse me. It's a bunch of bakers that they pretty much make cakes and they make them look like objects. And what they end up doing is put this object on a stand with a bunch of other objects that are similar to it or that look just like it. And the people have to guess which one's a cake or not, which one's not a cake. And so, they make these creations that are like identical to like a regular object, and you can't really tell without like really getting close up, or if they like zoom in on the picture. But they give like the people like 20 or 30 seconds to actually try to figure it out before they reveal whether it's a cake or not. And it's pretty cool. And they have like random guests on there to judges and stuff like that to judge their cakes and see if they can guess which one's a cake or not. But it's pretty clever. It's pretty fun. The first episode, I was kind of like, it's a little corny. The host was a little corny, but as it started going along, it started like the wife and I really started laughing and enjoying some of the content. The host actually made it pretty funny. He's actually one of the guys from SNL. I forgot his name, Mikey Day or something like that.
Mikey Day, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I think he did a good job as the series went on. He started getting more funny or funnier. But Yeah, I think that was a good one. And then I've been watching the One Piece. I told you about that one. Catching up on One Piece. I'm almost there. I'm at episode 975, I think it is.
Man,
But I mean, I told you before, I've been watching it for a long time. So it's
right.
like I didn't watch them all 900 in like, the last month or so, but I've been watching like the last like 50 episodes, something like that, trying to catch up. But that's been really good. It's really getting pretty intense on there. But I guess with that, I'll turn it over to you, Shannon, and see what you've been up to, man.
So I'm gonna start with, I don't know how y'all get into these British shows, man. I don't understand it. Like, it just feels.
It's an American writer though, so it's Shonda Rhimes. So she wrote it. Like,
Oh,
so
really?
Grey's Anatomy, How to Get Away with Murder. Like, this is her show. Like, so when she left, what was it, ABC? When she left ABC for her Netflix projects, this is one of her first projects. Out the gate, it was number one.
Well, she does Grey's Anatomy too, right? Like Grey's
Yeah,
Anatomy.
but so once that spins down, she's done with them. It's just bad blood. Like, they weren't treating her right. So she was like, well, I'll go start something with somebody else. And Netflix was like, we'll take that.
Yeah. Throwing my
out the gate, number one.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I the British shows I just can't get into. And even when it comes to, what did I tried to get through How to Get Away with Murder. Like, I got through like 2 seasons of that, and I was like, come on now. Like, nobody's just dumb. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's too unbelievable for me. I couldn't get down with it. But
did she do Scandal too? Was it
she had
Scandal as well? Yeah, she has a lot of shows, and they weren't treating her right. I was like, how you not gonna treat this lady right? She wrote all your number one hits.
Yeah. But anyway, for me, I didn't do any video games. I know I kept saying I was gonna get on I know Horizon. I haven't started Horizon.
What?
Yeah. I did watch Moon Knight. I'll tell you like this: the first episode of Moon Knight, I was like, it's okay, right? The second one was better. Like, I want to see more of what was happening in that one going forward, right? Especially if it's only 6 episodes. Like, you only got 4 more left.
4 left.
Yeah, you got to get
it. Short series, short seasons.
So I mean, that was better. I didn't watch the 3rd episode of Halo. I watched the first 2. I haven't got the 3rd one in yet, so I'll probably watch that tomorrow, actually, because Halo I liked. I did like that.
Okay.
I gotta check that one out too.
I never played the video game, so I don't know the whole story or anything. But even then,
it's probably better that way, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because then your expectation is, I don't need to see what I know from the video games. Yeah, so watch that. I've been watching this show, Workaholics, man. It's an older show, and it's been off for a few years, but these dudes are wild, man. Crazy stuff. They're like telemarketers, and they're stoners, and they're always doing dumb stuff. That's just like, man. So like the first season, I was like, oh man, this is funny. And then I'm like 3rd season now. Like, every once in a while, you come across an episode, you're like, come on, man. Like, this is too far gone. You know what I mean? Like, you're not
right.
You're like, you pulling your junk out at work and just putting it on people's forehead. Come on now. Like you'd be fired.
Right.
Like, you get caught.
No one killed you?
Yeah. Well, they did it to a lady that was dead. They didn't know she was dead. They just thought she was sleeping at work.
Oh my God. What?
So they did all this stuff to her. They were like taping food to her and everything. And then the one dude took his junk out and laid it on her, and they were taking pictures. So like,
oh damn,
I'm just like, come on, you didn't get fired, like you got caught doing that, like, come on, man.
Right.
But no, it's funny, but every once in a while it's just like, because even my wife is like, so how is it now? I'm like, still hit or miss. You know what I mean? You'll have that episode, you're like, okay, just get through it a little bit, and then it'll be good to go. What else did I start watching? I started watching Jamie Foxx show again, actually. I don't know if you guys ever watched that back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Back in the heyday.
They had that on HBO Max, and I'm just like, oh man, hilarious. Martin, like,
Martin's on there too.
It kind of reminds me of Martin, to where I'm like, oh yeah, man, I've always loved it, but I forgot how funny it was. How great it was.
Right.
So
that's one of the best. Yeah, one of the good ones.
Yeah, but I started rewatching some of those. Some of those I hadn't seen. I hadn't watched as much of it as I thought I had. I was like, man, I don't remember this episode. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I remember watching that all the time when I was, back
Right.
in the day when I was younger. But then it's like, no, I guess I didn't see all of it that I thought I did. But yeah, but that's kind of it for me. Yeah, I watched a couple comedy specials. You know what I mean? With people. I don't know if you guys like Earthquake.
Yeah, I
Oh yeah,
watched that one.
The
I haven't
Earthquake, you
seen that
watched
one
that
yet.
last one? Yeah.
Was
So
it good though?
it's good. It was good. Yeah. Like he had a stretch there where I was like, man, you ain't got it like you used to. You know what I mean?
Right.
This last one I thought was pretty fun. Legendary, I
Yeah.
think was the name of it.
It was produced by Chappelle, right?
Chappelle, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chappelle produced it.
Yeah. Chappelle actually has a show out here in like a week, I think. I think next week. He's got a show coming out here. Yeah.
That one's gonna be off the hook
In
if he talks
Colorado
about
Springs.
recent events.
Look, I didn't even try to look. I was like, one of the guys I used to work with, he sent the link out in the text, and I was like, I ain't even gonna try to look for that. You know what I mean? Because we don't have a large venue like the Pepsi Center up in Denver or anything like that. Because he's coming to Colorado Springs, so yeah, it's wild, man. I went and looked at some of the prices because that very next day he was like, man, it's like $300 for seats. I was like, well, yeah, I was like, they're not all that expensive, right? And I sent them a thing, it was like $200.
Right.
On this one they're $200, but you got to go way up and back, right?
But is that it was those blah, can't speak. Were those the original prices or are those the resale prices?
So the one that I sent him was resale. It wasn't from the venue itself. Right?
You can never buy original tickets anymore. I know they're working on that. That's at the federal level, but it pisses me off. like it's like with consumer products, but worse. It's like, okay, ticket drops for 25, a bot picks it up and sells it for 200.
Yeah. I didn't realize. Is it that big a deal though? Like, is it like
it's that they have a bill at the federal level. They're trying to work it out because it makes no sense. Because Ticketmaster doesn't care. They make a profit off of each sale. The artist doesn't care because the artist made their money off the rip. It's us. We're the ones getting murdered. Beyonce tickets for $1,000. You know what I mean? Like,
eventually it'll come on Palladium, right? You just watch it on there or something. Right. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Like you put on a good show, but not for me to spend a G. You know what I mean? And like if I'm gonna do something like that, I'm gonna go with my wife too, right? So just do it times 2. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, no, I haven't watched too much that I can think. That's all I can think of that I've really been watching. But what about you? What about you, Ryan?
So I worked a lot this week, but I got it in a little bit. So I did catch Halo. So on the 3rd episode, I watched it. I enjoy it. Right. People are still bashing it. People who've been watching Halo for over 20 years now, right? They're like, oh, because it's different. It just simply is. This is the different universe. this is the Master Chief doing things differently. So you'll run into characters now have different relationship dynamics, or like the story will unfold differently. They don't have 20 years to break down all of the Halo lore. They just went right into it, and I enjoy it. I like it because I've already seen all the other stuff. I've read not all the books, but I read a grip. I read probably like a fourth of the books. I think they're like way past where I read. I read up to the fifth book. I've played all the games, even the spinoffs. I've read the comics. Like there was an anime series that came out. I watched that. I need something different. This is different. I like it. So I'm definitely enjoying it. And just the production value is off the chain. Like this is a movie budget on a TV show. Like so I really enjoy it. I like it. But somebody did say something and I was like, that might have been better or different. They said, why didn't they just make a show about a different character? And then the Master Chief pops up and does heroic stuff all the time. So when you never actually are in the character or see the character, it's more like this is the Halo world from a different perspective. And I was like, that would have been different. And I might have liked that too, because he's a legend, right? But like in the show, you get to see his more of his human side. So a lot of people don't like that either because he's supposed to be just like the demon, right? So like, what if they had you as a different Spartan, or you're watching a different person or something like that? And then when it was really hitting the fan, the Master Chief just came out of nowhere. and just ripped everything up and then bounced. I was like, that would have been cool, but either way, I like it. So,
do you think that would have held people's interest though? Do you think people would have been like, "Nah, I'm not gonna watch some rando," right? Like, I want to see
that I don't. I honestly don't know. Like, I think they did it right. I think this was the best concept they could do. But I was like, that is an interesting concept though. Like, because the Master Chief does have that lore behind him, right? Like even the Covenant are fearful of him because he is the demon. But either way, I like it. I like the casting that they went with. I don't know where they found these giant people. No clue. Like, because Spartans are supposed to be like 7 feet tall, and they found 7-foot actors. I'm just like, there's got to be some Hollywood tricks. Like the one dude, like the main character, I forget his name. What's the main guy's name who plays Master Chief? It'll come back to me. But he's actually a giant man. So okay, nailed it. you got it. Because I watched some of there's an after show that you can watch. I watched the after show, and they have him standing next to regular sized people, and you're just like, yo, this. Because on the show you're like, nah, he's not that big. But then they show him against like one of the producers or one of the directors are talking to him, and you're like, yo, he's dwarfing these people. So I was like, that was a good pick. You found him. But then some of the other characters, I'm like, there's no way all these people are this big. There's no way. Like, where'd you find all these extra tall people who can act? I don't know.
They're doing that Tom Cruise.
Yeah, where Tom Cruise is or Vin Diesel, where Vin Diesel is the same height as The Rock. You like, wait a minute.
Right. Like, hold up.
How does this work?
They say he's 6'5", I guess. Right.
6'5", yeah. He's a big
guy.
dude. But when you see him outside the armor, you're like, that's not the Master Chief. But then when you show him against a regular person, you're like, yo, that man is giant.
Right.
So yeah, I really am enjoying the show though. Like, I think everyone can find something they like in it, but I think you, especially not being tied up in all the lore, I think you'll like it even more than some of us. Because I'm always second. I always have to think about something when I see it. I'm like, that's not the way that works. But it's different. So just enjoy it. What else did I watch? I watched Moon Knight. I enjoy it, but I don't know it's not as good as I thought it. I think it is. Like, I'm not perceiving it as good as it is. Like, I see the after stuff, I see the Easter eggs, I see the cinematography, and I'm like, this is brilliant. But when I'm watching, I'm just like, meh. And I don't know why. I like the main. I like the actor. I like the concept. I don't know anything about Moon Knight, so I'm not tied down by any of the other stuff. But for some reason, I watched the episode and I'm just like, it was all right. And then I watched the after stuff and I'm like, okay. I like what they did there. I'm not appreciating it in the moment. I don't know why. Like, maybe I'm just not smart enough.
How dare you? How dare you?
First 2 episodes feel like they should have been 1 episode. I think they should have dropped both at the same time because it feels like the introduction, having the 2 episodes together made more sense. And now they only have 4. They only got 4 episodes left. So it's like, you got a lot of stuff. I mean, it's still 4 hours, right? Longer than a movie, but you got a lot of stuff to knock out before we don't see him again for however long. He might pop up in a movie or something like that. But
I was gonna say, you sure he won't pop up in multiverse?
He probably will,
or whatever.
Yeah, the multiverse of madness.
Yeah,
he probably will, because like it literally is on the doorstep of the movie, right? And they knocked out the intro. Like, they don't have to explain them. They can just jump right into it. So he probably will pop up again. I just don't know. I don't know. Like, this next episode is probably going to be off the hook. I'm probably like, yeah, there it is. Because
what about
all the other stuff?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what about that one scene with the truck driving? Did you like that at all? When he's like driving the truck?
First episode where it came.
Yeah, I think it was in the first episode. Yeah, he's like that.
I did. I don't know. I just don't. I don't know what it is, because it's like it had elements of Memento and Mission Impossible in there, and like it's hidden all the things that I really enjoy, and it's super violent. Like when he gained consciousness and he had blood on his hands.
Yeah, it's like, what the?
But you didn't see it. That's why I wasn't too thrilled with the first episode, is because he would just, all of a sudden he's out, and then when he comes to, you see the after effects. Like, you don't see how you got to that point. You know what I mean? That's what I want to see more
I
of.
like that. I like that little mystery. Like it's different. Like you don't see just a regular like, okay, I'm just gonna shoot this guy in the
Right.
face. So I spin the car around and I shoot this guy over here, and then it's
But
like a
now,
little
but
bit of mystery
now,
because it's
but now
you're
you
trying to
will,
figure out
right?
like what's going on.
Yeah,
That's
but
right.
now
Go
you
ahead.
will, right? Because now
Yeah.
the first two episodes have finally solidified it. So now you know what's
Right.
going on. Got you.
Right.
But I don't know. I don't know. And all the characters are awesome actors. I don't know. I don't know what it is. So hopefully the third episode will click for me. It may be also because he's a character I don't know. Like I did not know Moon Knight at all until they said they're gonna make a show about him. I was like, who is this? Um, so I thought that was I think I'm gonna like it, but so far I'm just about it. um, so Halo, Moon Knight, um, Attack on Titan. I saw the finale, but there's gonna be another finale. So the it's crazy. So basically, there's more story, but they keep saying this is it. This is gonna be the finale, and then they ended on a cliffhanger. So we just did Attack on Titan final season part 2 just wrapped, and then at the end of it, they're like, "Stay tuned for part 3, 2023." I'm like, yo. So I had to talk to somebody who read the manga. I'm like, hey, did all this stuff happen? Like, I'm gonna explain to him what I saw, and he was like, yeah. And he was like, well, there's so much more left. And I was like, then why do they keep calling it the final season? They're nowhere near the end. But I enjoy it. It's a really good anime. It just has some really long breaks in between finales, apparently. So I would definitely suggest for those who are not really like don't know about it, like watch it now, and you'll get 4 seasons. Like I had to wait almost 3 years between season 1 and season 2. That's how long of a hiatus they had. Um, and now they're back. They had another season. Then they switched companies, so the animation changed, which still looks amazing, just different because it's different company illustrating it, and they're nowhere near the end. So enjoy. And then because I was in an anime mood, so I pivoted. Now watching an anime called 86, and it centers around it's like a future society. It's all pristine and whatnot, but they're involved in a war. And I'm not giving anything away. It's all in the trailer, but the it's like a war. Like machines are trying to breach their gates, so they send other machines out there to fight. But the twist is, they may not be machines. It's super violent. Like so, I would say the first season you have a cast of characters that take up an entire cafeteria. And then by the end, the last episode, they do a flashback because you forget how many people died. They did a flashback and they showed the cafeteria and then they showed who was left. It was like less than it was half a table. I was like, oh man. So Chef's Kiss anime. I enjoyed it. I think it's 2 seasons and they're working on the third season. I watched the first season. I really liked it. So I'll probably start the second season up. Oh, that was the show I forgot to mention last week to Shannon. DMZ. I started it. I made it over halfway through. I don't know. It's not doing it for me.
I was gonna say,
Uh,
like if you
I
like that one, I watched the
I
first
don't.
episode. I was not impressed.
So give it a little bit more, but it's still they're not doing it. And it has all the people I like. Like Rosario Dawson's the reason I came to the show. Like I've been a fan of Rosario Dawson since I was a kid watching the movie Kids, which I should not have watched as a child, by the way. The title's misinforming you. It's not a kid's movie. But she's phenomenal in it. I just don't care. I don't care about what's going on in it. I don't care about the fate of these people. I don't care. And I don't know why. It's just not, I think I do know why. It's just it doesn't, it feels like a story that's been told 1,000 times. And it has the one dude from your show, Levon, the Kung Fu show that was written by Bruce Lee that you put me on. What's the name of it?
Warrior.
Warrior. So one man in the boiler hat.
Yeah.
He was the main character in it. So
yeah.
And he does a phenomenal job.
Young,
like he's a great actor. Like all the actors are great, but I just don't care about the story.
Yeah.
Just putting it out there.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Yeah. The first episode, I'm gonna still finish. It's only 4 episodes, so I'm gonna finish it. But
Oh, that means I'm on the finale, and I didn't even know it.
yeah, it's only 4 episodes. It's like it's short, and it's like a what do you call those? It's like limited series. So I think that means that it's supposed to like end like right here. But yeah, it seems like kind of, I don't know. It seems like you said, it's kind of like a story that's been told before, but I don't know if they can get through all the what I would consider like all the good content through like 4 episodes. If it's like like they have so much more to explain and like all the stuff going on with the I don't know, whatever happened to the
I'm more interested in that. Give me that origin story. Like give me a flashback where you show me like why this has happened. Because like the post, because that's it. I think I'm post-apocalyptic, like post, how you say the word?
Right. I don't even want to try.
There you go. I think I finally hit my cap. I think I'm finally there. I'm just like, man.
yeah. Like I'd rather see the stuff that builds up to it, like the like the falling out and stuff.
Yeah. I never thought I would get there, but I'm finally there. Like and like the Road, Children of Men, like all these phenomenal movies. Anything to do with Mad Max. Even Blade Runner, all that stuff. Like that's not really the apocalypse though. But I don't care. I think I'm burnt out. It's like with zombies. Like I only made it to like season 8 of The Walking Dead before I find like, you know what? I'm zombied out. I think I hit my threshold.
No, wait a minute, Ryan. Wait a minute. You told me it wasn't about the zombies.
It's not about the zombies. The zombies are a
backstory is what you said.
Apparatus for the human story. But I think I'm tired of humans. I think that's what it is. I'm done. I just don't care anymore. I'm petered out of those type of stories. I think I just need a break for a little bit. So yeah, DMZ didn't do it for me. But now I have to finish it. Now you told me I'm on the finale. I gotta see it through.
Yeah.
What else? I did play some more Halo, so I'm going through that very slow, methodical. I got to take every base. Like I think I have OCD. If you give me a map and you give me things on the map like question marks or like here's a point of interest, I have to go see it. So I'm all off the beaten path. I'm just conquering bases just to conquer them. But I'm enjoying it. Like it's gonna take me a while to get through it though. I'm just very slowly. I got to find everything type situation, and it's Halo, right? So it feels good. Like the combat just feels right. So I'm definitely enjoying that. No multiplayer though. I'm not. I saw that the season 2 is coming out for the multiplayer, Lone Wolves or whatever. I didn't get through any of the season 1 content. It's fun. I enjoy it. I just don't like being. I don't like playing competitive anymore. I think, like I should be in the 40 and over league. You know what I mean? Like
right. Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah.
Especially getting like smashed the entire time. Like I ain't trying to get killed.
I don't have them reflexes like I used to.
Right.
I've gotten old finally. And then like you said, Tunic. I've been playing through Tunic. I'm bad at it. So
oh yeah. Are you bad at that one? That's a single player game. Hold up.
I'm bad at Tunic. Because like I'll venture too far. Like it warns you. Like you go to a new area and you're like, like I walked into an area where I assume I'm gonna find a lantern at some point. So it's pitch black. I got murdered and I lost everything. And I was like, I should have just left. Like I didn't have to keep going.
Right.
I go too far and then I die and then I lose everything. I'm just like, I need to be more of a strategist.
Yeah.
In this game. I just want to keep exploring. I just want to keep like, oh, there's something new. Oh, I've never been here before, and then I die. It's
right.
Like,
yeah, it's a tricky game. It's like it's got like a lot of different elements to it. You got to figure out all the little nuances and then like the whole like instruction booklet thing that you try to figure out because it's like in another language that you can't decipher, or you can decipher it a little bit, but it's it makes you try to get all the pages to this instruction booklet that gives you different clues to different secrets in the game. But it's pretty clever how they did it. It's actually pretty smart game.
Yeah, I'm definitely enjoying it. It's impressive as made by like one person and some contractors, pretty much. Like I'm
Oh, damn. I know that.
belittling it, right? Like he brought in like an actual composer to do music because he couldn't do music, so he was like, I brought in a composer to do the music for me. Like, so they're basically like a subcontract to him, but it's pretty much a one man show. He made like 90% of the game by himself. It took years.
Hmm.
I've been tracking Tunic for like since E3 was still in person. Like they were showing,
wow.
they were showing Tunic at the indie section of the E3. They were like, games you should be looking out for. It took years and years and years for him to finish this game, which is very impressive in itself. But then that it came out to be like great. Like it's a really good game, um, made by one person. So that's definitely pretty crazy. I downloaded Guardians. I didn't play it though. Guardians of the Galaxy, because now that the Series X is on its way, I don't want to play anything that's pretty.
Mm. Right. You're trying to save it for the new console. I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
So I still got Cyberpunk and the Rapper. Like that's gonna be the first thing I pop out and put in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I am pretty excited about that. I found a television to play it on, just so I can debut it. Like at home, I still have like I think it's a 32 inch, like 720p. That's gonna be primarily where I'm gonna be playing my games. But for when it comes out the Rapper, I gotta have it on the nicest of TVs. I gotta see it at its best. So that's the plan until I get home, and then we gotta figure out. Gotta budget this TV, and I can't be playing on the old hotness. All right, I've been gone for a couple of years. I need that TV. That TV is trash now.
Right.
That's what I expected. When you said it was 720p, I was like, okay, this is not Ryan we're talking to. This is a surrogate right here.
It was a stopgap. It was like I found it in my daughter's closet, and I was like, I'm gonna ship that with me. And I took it with me, and I was like, this is supposed to hold me through. And they just never got any good TVs here. So it's been 2 years.
Right. No, you gotta. Yeah, I'm happy that you're getting the latest and greatest out there. You can enjoy some of the new hotness. I hope you can get a nice TV out there too.
So time is short. So I definitely I don't want to make that investment.
Right.
But the TV at home, that's gonna be my return.
That's gonna be
my return present. Gift. I'm home.
Right. Yeah.
I need to upgrade this bad boy. So yeah, there'll be some upgrades happening when I return. But I am pumped to get the system though, because Halo's been crashing. I'm playing it on a 1S, so last generation's lesser hardware, and it still looks pretty good. It still plays pretty good, but every now and then I'll get into the middle of a fight and it just be like, nope. It will boot me to the home screen. So like that itself will be a great upgrade, just so I can play the game without interruption.
Yeah. I've actually had I've had some issues with Halo 2 mostly on my PC. Once in a blue moon on the console, but I heard that they were kind of aware of the issue and they patched it recently. They're supposed to fix those kind of random crashes. But I'm sure on the older consoles it's probably worse. But I had like once in a blue moon, like on my Series X, and then more frequently on the computer. But lately it's been pretty smooth. I haven't had any issues, I think, since they patched it up. But we'll see.
Okay, that's what's up. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my media. I skipped Morbius. I was gonna go. They're still playing this weekend. I could see it today if I wanted to, but I'm not going
to. None of the reviews were glowing though, right? Like you were saying.
Not one.
I saw a meme of like, I know you guys maybe watch Dragon Ball Z, but like Goku and Vegeta, they were they were like on top of some mountain. They're like, let's go someplace where we're not going to cause kill anybody or cause any damage. They showed them like in the next scene, like inside of a Morbius theater, like playing the movie. Let's go someplace safe where we can fight to our heart's extent and not hurt anybody. And it shows Morbius.
That's horrible.
Like, oh no.
That's horrible. I'll watch it when it comes to some streaming platform, I'm sure.
Me too. I'll check it out for sure when it's like on some stream somewhere.
So I know Disney Plus is starting to get like the more mature content, like the Netflix stuff and whatnot. So, and was this one actually a Marvel Studios?
No, this is Sony.
So
Yeah,
it won't get that one, and it won't get Sony.
right. If it was Marvel, it'd be good. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah.
Right.
They would have did a good job. Stop, like Sony will not sell that property to Marvel because the last Spider-Man movie made $1 billion, right? Off the rip. So we just had to deal with it. But yeah, they don't make good movies. Like Venom 1 was funny. But Venom 2, I just was like, man. Like, it didn't do it for me. Didn't do it for me. Now this one I heard is trash. So what's next? What's the next Sony flick they're gonna ruin?
Right.
I don't know.
Well, they have to come up with new properties at this point, right? Like, because I don't think there's anything out there that they have. Because the other ones were Fox, right? Like X-Men was Fox, Fantastic Four was Fox, right? Which Disney now owns.
Yeah, Sony only has the Spider-Man IPs. So
Yeah.
anybody who's directly in that universe, they own. But I can't think of any other characters.
What about Blade? Was Blade Marvel Studios?
So yeah, so Blade was the one of the only ones they still had left over that Marvel was still owned outright. That's why they made the Wesley Snipes Blade flick. That saved them. Like if it wasn't for Blade, they would have went under. That was one of their last IPs, and then from there, they started to build back up. But yeah, the Fox. So the article I read said that Sony had the ability to buy it all outright. They went to Sony was one of the highest bidders, and Sony came in first. And a Sony exec was like, "We don't want the rest of that. It's garbage. We want Spider-Man," and that's all they bought. So just think, had they picked everything up, we wouldn't even be talking about Marvel flicks. They'd all just be trash or non-existent. You know what I mean? Like they wouldn't be going on 2 decades of making a linear story. That would never happen. So I guess we should be thankful that in this universe, Sony just wanted the Spider-Man side of the house.
Right.
Yeah, but now it's just going to cause them to overcompensate, right? Like it's just like now you're going to buy up everything, thinking you can make it $1 billion movie, and you can't.
No. So I'm definitely is it 4 weeks before the Multiverse of Madness drops?
It's like May 6th or something like that, I think.
Yeah, so I'm excited about it. I've gone on media blackout. I'm not watching any more trailers. I'm not watching any more breakdowns. I just want to watch the movie. So I'm out social media blackout. I don't want to know about nothing. That's gonna be good. And then Thor 4, still no trailer. So I guess the events are gonna be tied to it in some shape or form, because there's no reason for there not to be a Thor 4 trailer with the movie coming out not too much longer after Multiverse of Madness.
It's November, right? It's the end of this year.
Yeah, they should have been dropped.
It'll be the end credit scene. I'm calling it now.
You think so? You think that'll be it? The trailer will be there?
It'll be the end credit scene.
I'm down for it. Like, give me something aside from give me a snippet. I want to see what's gonna the future, but then give me a trailer like they did with the Multiverse of Madness. They just dropped a whole trailer in the post credit. I was like, that's pretty good. I like that. Like, I get rewarded for showing up.
Right.
So I can see that. That's a good, you were probably 100% right. You probably called it right there. That's why we haven't seen the trailer, because it's going to be one of the post credit scenes. So I'm down for that. But I think that pretty much does it for this episode, gents. I appreciate you. It's always a good time. So for those of you who are still hanging on to this episode, definitely like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share with your friends. Let's get our subscription numbers up. And definitely tune in. Like, that's the most important part, right? So I see a lot of people listening. We have pretty consistent listening count and whatnot. But YouTube, I'm starting to see a little bit of growth. So I need y'all to keep that up. So definitely hit up all the social medias. And then hit me up personally. I'm at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. I'm on Clubhouse, LinkedIn, Twitter, and TikTok. And you, Levon?
You can hit me up on the Twitters at Levon Maynard.
There it is. Stay safe. Stay secure.
Take care.
Thank you.